Hi everyone, this is my first video with myself in it, so I apologize ahead of time for the video. I just wanted to put some information out there for people that are going to be having ACDF surgery or have those issues. I had ACDF surgery on Friday, March 18th. And I had a bone graft done in C5, C6, and C6-C7. I just wanted to go through my experience. I know there are a lot of videos out there, and I found them helpful. But I just think that the more that's out there, the more helpful it is for people. Because I know myself, I was on the fence personally, reading quite a variety of experiences, going from very terrified, that people couldn't swallow and they felt like they were choking, to everything was fine. So I just thought I'd share my experience. I went to Christ Hospital Spine Institute and I had Dr. Khan. Everything went flawlessly, knock on wood. He was great. The hospital was great. But I just wanted to give some of my personal physical experience as to, what it was like for me. I had surgery on Friday morning, about 7:30. I was in recovery, I think, between 10 or 11. And then I was up to my room. I did have a drainage tube. It did not have a stitch. And I can honestly tell you that I was pretty uncomfortable. Sorry guys, that was Ellie and Lexi, who have been in a few videos. They saw a dog walking by, so they started to go crazy. So, sorry about that. I was pretty uncomfortable. They had me on Percocet every 4 hours, and obviously muscle relaxers, pretty high dosage, like 750 milligrams, 2 of those, like every 6 hours. I didn't have a whole lot of throat pain. That was my biggest concern, because after watching some videos on YouTube, I was terrified of, the esophagus and the trachea being put aside, and some of the effects that some people had were horrible, and I was terrified from that. I will tell you though, they are great. Dr. Khan and the Christ Hospital Spine Institute have an ENT make the actual incision. I had just taken a shower, so I'm leaving my collar off for just a moment. They have the ENT person, doctor, make the incision and then put the esophagus and trachea and carotid artery aside. And then the Dr. Khan just goes right in there to the spine and does what he needs to do. So I think that probably had a lot to do with how well this went, I hope. At first, they had me drink liquid. I was not restricted to a liquid diet, but the very first meal they had liquid just to see how it went down. I had chicken broth, chocolate ice cream, chocolate pudding. I think I had some Jell-O, Pepsi, and I think that's about it. And that was around, when I got up to my room, because I stayed overnight. Then for dinner, I had mashed potatoes, a salad. I think I had some more Jell-O. I'm trying to think of what else I had. I don't think I had a whole lot more. Peach cobbler. They had a really good peach cobbler. Because while I was there, I decided I was going to do everything I could to see how well food went down before I got home by myself. So that went well. It hurt. I'm not going to lie. It hurt like a mother, but it went down because I was going to make it go down to make sure that things were smooth sailing once I got home. So I did okay. They had me on an IV all night. They had the pumps on my legs, the air pumps on my legs to prevent blood clots. I was also on oxygen for 24 hours. And I'm trying to think what else. That was about it. So, at their hospital, their motto was call, don't fall. So they didn't want you to fall after having a bone graft and all that bone work done. So whenever you needed to use the restroom, you could get up and do it, but you had to call and have someone escort you to make sure you wouldn't fall, which that was fine by me. It was a long night. They did not automatically come in and ask me or tell me it was time for medicine, like every 4 hours for the Percocet. That's one thing that they absolutely should do, especially right after surgery. Because I woke up an hour and a half to an hour 40 minutes after I was supposed to have had pain medication, the Percocet, and I thought I was going to die, and I wanted to kill somebody. So I personally think that they should be up on it. I mean, I know that pretty much everybody out there, they consider a drug addict now because of the heroin and everything. But for God's sake, if you're just out of surgery, help people stay up on their pain, because it will even tell you to stay up on your pain medication and not fall behind. So that was horrible. I was up through most of the night after that, because once you get behind on that, it's just hard to catch up. I woke up and I had an omelet with mushrooms, green pepper, cheese. I had some kind of potatoes. I had toast. I had coffee. That was like heaven. Orange juice. And that was about it. And then the actual surgeon came in, Dr. Khan came in to take out my drain tube, which I tried to video, which turned out horrible. I'm going to upload that, but he just went so lickety-split that I just didn't get much. So, that hurt, but that really irritated having that tape and stuff on. It actually tore some of my skin off. So I was glad to have that thing out. Shortly after that, I got a shower, took my time, and it felt good to have that. And then later in the day, I went home. I'll save that for a second video, but again, I think the very first day after surgery, that being Saturday the 19th, the biggest thing is like waiting for, like when you eat things and you go to burp, you just don't think about that. And with the pressure on your windpipe and in this area, it's kind of a big deal. It's like the first night, I think on Friday, I kind of felt like things were, like I was trying to, like I could feel things were happening in my esophagus, but I didn't know what was going on. But if you burp or you burp out loud, don't worry about it. That's a good thing, I'd say. Yeah, because you want your esophagus to work as normal as possible afterwards. I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of bruising or swelling, but I didn't have any of the complications like what I've seen on YouTube from other people, to where they felt like they were choking when they were eating, or they felt like they had something in their throat. I mean, that scared me to death, but it's still tender. But like I said, while I was in that hospital, I was going to eat everything I could to make sure it all went down okay. So, and even the nurse said, you know, it may hurt now, but you want it to hurt now versus later because you want to make sure that everything's working okay. So, that was my surgery and day one. Just stay up on the muscle relaxers and the pain medication. They will tell you more than anything that the muscle relaxers are more important than the pain medication, or so that they hear. And I find that to be true. At least that has been for me. Because you are very sore throughout your shoulder blades because how you're positioned. Your arms are straight out, and at least in my case, my neck was all the way back with my chin pointed up to the ceiling. So, I was told that that everything went really well, and that I had really bad arthritis. It was actually on my spinal cord. So, I've just got the 2 bone grafts. And, I guess that's about it for right now. I'll do some other videos as far as the day-by-day highs and lows, if you will. So, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask me. I'd be more than happy to help. This can be a very terrifying experience. I know for myself it was overwhelming to think about. But it went great, knock on wood so far. And I had a great experience, great hospital, great doctor. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Or if you would like to just talk about your experience or, reach out, please feel free. I'll talk to you guys later.